He's done it again. Imagine winning over $1 million last week only to follow it up with another $650,000 plus a few days later. Giselle once again proving just how strong of a player they are, and here's how. Let's start off with some PLO 5 and stacks near identical with a view from Lukaku. Giselle on the button and opening the action with a pre-flop 3x to 3k. With a 3x click back and call from our hero, we now have over 18k in the middle with the flop coming king, 9, 8, 2 diamonds. Lukaku flopping 2 pair and the straight draw with backdoor clubs to a flush puts in a lead of around 50%. Giselle simply calls and the turn provides us with the 3 of spades. Lukaku leads again but with a near pot sizing, as we see Giselle almost instantaneously send the action back with a re-raise all in, and the covering stack. Lukaku puts the rest of his money in the middle, nearly $250,000, as our hero reveals his flopped set of kings. Players run it twice, with the first river bricking and the second improving us to the boat. We collect both halves. A near repeat is last hand because when flopping sets, why not flop them again? At least, I think that's what they say. With starting stacks quite different than before but still playing the same game. 5 cards each as Lukaku and his $500,000 watches Giselle open action to 3k per usual. Calling off, we see a flop of jack, 5, deuce with 2 clubs. Lukaku now with the flopped flush draw starts with a check. Giselle on the button puts in a bet of around 3/4 pot and a call from our villain. 9 of hearts turn, and now things are interesting, as Lukaku improves from a flush draw to the open ender as well as a pair. First to act and checking again, we see Giselle go full pot and get check raised to over $64,000. A 4-bet all in for 118.3k. And getting the call, they once again run it twice as Giselle shows the flop set of hooks. Another $250,000 on the line, as the first river is the 4 of hearts, cha, and the second is the 3 of diamonds, ching. We cash in for both halves yet again. Not once, not twice, but thrice, as we start the next hand of 5 card but once again have the larger stack. Let's check this one out from our hero's view as he sits on pocket kings with an ace and 2 clubs. Pocket kings is nice, but seeing your opponent raise into them is nicer, as we see the standard sizing from Lukaku to start. The obvious pre-flop 3 to 9, and a call from the button. Loving life, we flop top set with the clubs in hand as well. Open check from Giselle, and a half pot bet from Lukaku. Giselle, looking to get more value on further streets, just calls as the turn comes 7 of diamonds. We check again and see Lukaku go for their usual just shy of pot size turn bet from previous hands. But this time we check raise and go for every penny. We get the call and run it twice, yet again. Ooh, crushing! Villain has turned the straight and we need help. Dealer, please! Largest pot so far with 325,231 in the middle. Bang! Tray ball corner pocket as we hit our boat and take the first half. Bang bang! 3s are hot as the dealer heard us and provides another boat and another scoop for Giselle. Alright, let's bring in a new opponent and continue down the setter life. Say hi to Gucci Nike and his pocket kings and 3 diamonds. First to act, and of course opening to 3k. Giselle calls and we see a flop. King, 7, 6. And I guess it's unfortunately someone else's turn to flop top set. Giselle first to act, checks, as our shoe-loving friend goes for 75% with 4.75k. A check raise from Giselle to a flat 14, and a quick 4-bet to 36.2. Calling, and with just under 80k in the middle, the turn is the 10 of clubs. Giselle switching gear, opens for full pot and the majority of Gucci's remaining stack, which they then put in. Giselle, with the slightly larger starting stack, calls off and they run it twice. Well, sorry buddy. Sets are our game, as Giselle reveals the turn straight and proceeds to hold not once, but twice, and yet again scoops over 250k. When your opponent flops or turns better, it's always important to flop or turn best, as we go back to Lukaku, who's first to act with pocket queens and an ace king. 3k, then 9k, then 27, and a call, as 54k goes in the middle, and 7, 5, 3 with 2 hearts comes out. Giselle leads for approximately 18k, to which Lukaku simply calls. Ace of Hearts turn, and Lukaku now has top pair with the King of Hearts kicker helpfully blocking the nut flush. Giselle slows down and decides to now check. 45k bet from Lukaku, and it's our turn now to simply call. We check again, 180k pot, and with under 1-to-1 SPR, Lukaku goes for all of it and the rest for his 145k. Giselle snaps, reveals the made flush on the turn, and collects nearly $500,000. Being ahead the whole way is always fun, as stacks are back to almost even, and Lukaku with pocket queens once more, as well as 4s. Giselle starts the action with an open to 3k, followed by a 3-bet to 9 and a 4 to 27. Calling and 54k in the middle, Lukaku is less than pleased, as a king followed by an 8 and 5 of spades is spread. A natural check out of position with an overcard on board in the 4-bet pot, as we see Giselle for simply the first time ever check things back. 6 of hearts turn, and we for sure would think, and then do see, Lukaku put in a bet. Half pot, or 27k, and a smooth call from our unusually passive hero. 6-figure pot and a 9 of diamonds river. Lukaku once more opens the action with a bet of 82.5. Giselle smooth calls again and reveals the pocket aces to start, followed by the unneeded help from the dealer with the turn straight. $274,000 more for us. Listen, you can't win them all, so let's at least check out a 6 spot from our hero. Suited king and jack to start, and a pre-flop to 3k, as Lukaku then bumps it up to 9. We call and flop the open-ended draw with 3 to 2 flushes as well. Lukaku first to act goes for the half pot lead, as we of course aren't going anywhere just yet, and call. Jack of diamonds turn, and we now have top pair, that open ender, and 4 to the diamond flush. Villain slows down and checks, as we put in a full pot sized bet. A call from across the table, and we brick our draws. The 10 of club comes out, but still have top pair. Back to the lead aggression, as 110k full pot bet is seen from Lukaku. Giselle with the jack clicks back to 210k, and the rest of the chips in play, but runs into the river nuts, and Lukaku's made straight to the queen. $442,000 Lukaku's way. Last hand, and it's a brutal one. Just shy of $500,000 to start for Giselle with pocket 8s and 5s. Lukaku first to act pumps it up to $3,000, as Giselle fires back to 9k and is met with a call. Can't picture that much better of a flop, because we have the straight to the 8 with a redraw to the spade flush. Out of position and first to act, we check as Lukaku goes for half. Nuts in hand, we of course check raise to a whopping $45,800. Lukaku goes over the top, all in for 113.4, and we are delighted. Easiest call ever. $245,000 in the middle, and we see our opponent with top pair and the nut flush draw. Thankfully, we hold 2 spades ourselves, removing 2 of their outs as well. Clean turn with the jack of clubs, and now all we need to do is fade black. Ooh, yikes! 9 of spades hits the felt, and we not only lose this pot, but we successfully prove yet again that blockers just aren't real. You win some, you lose some, but what's important is coming back and playing again. High stakes action and amazing series continue to run daily, as we continue to host some of the largest stakes online, as well as have CSOP running. As always, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to every one of our social medias, as we highlight all the action to come. only on Coin Poker.